name is Amanda Thomas. I'm a graduate student at Western Kentucky University, currently enrolled in the Library Media Education program. Welcome to my online professional development in library media education. Today's video, we will be discussing open access journals and how to evaluate these resources in order to determine if they are an effective resource using the PEEP approach. The acronym PEEP stands for Publication, Editor, Editorial Board, and Publisher. Before we get started, let's make sure we all have a good understanding on what an open access journal is. The simple definition of open access, according to WKU Library website, is the free immediate online availability of research articles, coupled with the rights to use these articles fully in the digital environment. Open access journals have changed the way that society learns and conducts research. No longer do you have to go to a library and pull reference material in order to find the answer to a problem, write a paper, or create a presentation. Thanks to the internet and open access journals, this material is available from any location and at the tip of our fingers through wireless devices. Now, let's look at some pros and cons of open access journals. Positive. Journals are getting more recognition than before due to the internet and the availability of open access journals. No longer are journals found on the shelves of libraries alone. The internet allows access to reference materials from any location. The convenience of locating reference materials has allowed open access journals to bring greater visibility and impact. The latest studies are being posted and updated daily. Therefore, open access moves research along faster, and open access enables better management and assessment of research. The cons. There are so many resources available that searching for the information may be overwhelming. The internet is filled with open access journals. By typing in a single topic, hundreds of results could possibly be listed. This can make it very difficult to determine which articles are valid and/or credible references. Open access journals can be edited by others. Some peer reviews are not as rigorous when editing open access journals and could cause materials not to be credible. Now, let's look at an example of two students working side by side.
Okay, I got this one article up here, you know, too.
What do you want? What do you want?
Let's co-host, I guess.
That is horrible. Look at this. Wikipedia got 5,351,000 articles in English. Did you have to sign in and do all that stuff?
Absolutely.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Phantom Gang.
Did you know this had peer-reviewed journals?
Oh, really? That doesn't sound interesting at all. Did you know that there's did you know facts on Wikipedia? I want to probably say about 1 million of this 5 million articles are did you know. Everyone loves did you know.
Looking at open access journals on the internet can be a daunting task. Trying to determine which one is a credible source and sorting through all those different journal articles. But luckily, there is an approach that can help you with this. It has the acronym of PEEP. It can help you quickly and effectively pinpoint whether an open access journal is a credible source. Let's give it a try. The acronym PEEP stands for the following 4-step checklist: Publication, Editor, Editorial Board, and Publisher. Check to see if the editor's name, along with the editor's affiliation, is familiar to you. For example, the name of a professor. Next, check the editorial board to see if the names and affiliations are familiar. And the final step is to check to see if the publisher is familiar. For example, Scholastic, American Library Association, or the New York Times. If the publication, editor, editorial board, or the publisher is not familiar, then conduct a Google search to seek more information to help determine if the open access journal is a credible source. Using this information, one can tell if the open access journal is from a credible source. Alright, there are a lot of open access journals, and before you just start your research, we need to make sure that this journal is actually credible. So we're going to use the PEEP approach. So go ahead and write down the journal article or title that you wanted to use, along with the author's name.
McRoy and Russell, I love their work.
So they're familiar to you?
Yeah, sure.
Great.
Do I need to write down the full title?
You can abbreviate, it's fine.
Oh, well, thank you. Alright. Gotta teach.
So the first step is to check the publication. The publication for this article is Information Technology and Libraries. Next, you're going to check to see, is this familiar to you or not?
The publication or the author?
The publication.
Oh, well, no, of course not.
So if it's not familiar to you, we're going to do a Google search. So if you'll open up a new tab. And if you would just type this in. Now, from here, let's see what the results of the Google search were. As we can see, this is affiliated with American Library Association, which it would be a credible source.
So I need to go ahead and put a little check mark?
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Now, if you'll go back to your article. Down here we have editorial information.
Mm-hmm.
If you could click on the editorial board. And if we skip to here, you can just list the amount of people that are on the editorial board. This one has 14, so that's kind of a lot to list them all. And just do a quick scan through to see if those seem familiar to you. Maybe not so much the people, but the universities, if they seem like credible sources.
Hey, it looks like they all attended credible universities.
Great.
Crazy.
Then I would think that
Is that not crazy?
That is crazy.
I just added that in my notes, if that's okay.
That's great. So since they are familiar to you, you can just put yes and no Google search is needed.
Okay.
Now on this one, for some reason there is not just a particular editor listed, so I would go with the first editor.
Okay.
Now, we want to make sure that she is a credible editor for this peer review. So, do you know Emily Morton
I did not.
or familiar with any of her work?
No.
Okay. Then go ahead and write no.
Oh, Emily. No, I don't know.
Okay. So let's do a Google search on Emily. So if you click here, or no, I think that's it.
This one?
Yes. Her title is the Director of Digital Library Development and Systems. It looks like at the University of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that sounds made up. No. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and check this. Yes, she looks official.
Yes.
And then all right,
Great. Now if you could go back to your article.
great.
And the last step that we need to look for is the publisher. Do you see it on the screen there?
Publisher, yes, I do. American Library Association.
Are you familiar with the American Library
I am,
Association?
yes.
So no Google search is needed.
Excellent.
So you have now successfully checked to see if your open access journal for your research project is a credible source.
Good times.
All right, so I see that you found an open access journal for your research project.
Yes, I did.
All right, so before we use this in our project, we need to make sure that it is a credible source. So are you familiar with the PEEP approach?
I just thought if I found it on Google, it was good.
All right, well, let's go through this 4-step approach. First, let's go ahead and write down your title. And you can abbreviate if needed.
A librarian by any other name. Do I got to do that whole thing?
You can
The
stop
role?
there.
Okay, awesome.
And the author.
Oh, Sally Gore. Sally Gore. Got that.
Great. Okay, so first we need to check the publication. So it was published in the Journal of E-Science Librarianship.
Of E-Science Librarianship. Got that. Bam.
Now, is this publication familiar to you?
I read it all the time.
You do?
No, not really. I'm lying.
Okay. So you'll just put no.
Okay, no.
And then let's do a quick Google search.
I want to copy and paste.
That's fine.
'Cause I
And-
don't want to type all that.
Well, you don't actually have to type the title of the article, just the publication.
Oh, just the publication. Journal. See, I'm glad you're here to help me through this. E-Science Librarianship. Bam.
All right. Now, let's just check for its credibility. So if we just read here, it is an open access and they are peer reviewed.
So that means it's like credible, right?
Yes.
So, I'm gonna put check there and open access, bam, peer reviewed, win, we're good.
Great. All right, if you'll go back to your article
Back at the article.
and we can click on the editorial board down here.
Ooh. Right there.
Window.
And,
Okay, so this one has an editor.
okay.
So if you could write down Elaine Martin.
Yep.
Are you familiar with Elaine?
No.
Okay, let's go ahead and write no. And we're gonna follow that same process of doing a quick Google search just to check her credibility.
Well, obviously if she's at Harvard, she's not very good. Western's where she should be.
Go Tops.
Go Tops.
All right.
She's got YouTube.
She does.
I like this.
So if you look here,
Okay.
it says she is the director and head librarian.
Director and head librarian. I didn't even know Harvard had a library.
Okay. Let's see here.
At Harvard. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay. If you could go back to your article, and if you will scroll down, there should be a list of the editorial board. There they are.
yeah.
Now, if you would look at that editorial board and just kind of give me a little summary on that chart about them.
All right. Several men and women from various, can I say top-notch universities?
Sure.
Top-notch universities.
Now, are you familiar with any of those universities?
Oh yeah, we play Tennessee all the time. We play Michigan and Pittsburgh. We play all those things.
Okay.
So yeah, they're good schools. Better than Harvard.
Then you can write yes
Yes.
and no Google search is needed.
No Google search.
Now, if you will go back to the article
This thing?
and the publisher,
That's right there.
yes.
UMass Medical School. What? University of Massachusetts Medical School. What in the world is a medical school printing about librarians?
I think that they helped to build the research team,
Oh, gotcha.
but that's what you're.
That's what I'm trying to find out, right?
Yes.
You're not just going to tell me the answer. I'll see how this goes.
So, next.
Am I familiar with the University of Massachusetts? No, I'm really not.
So you would write no,
No.
and then do a Google search.
Oh, Google, these bad boys. Copy, Google, paste, tuition nursing requirements. So, there's some Wikipedia stuff about them. Medical schools. There's the UMass Med. Check that out. So, they look pretty credible.
Okay.
They look pretty credible. So I'm going to check this. That I did a Google search, and their stuff looks too legit. Their stuff looks good and legit. Bam. So I'm assuming that now I can use this article.
Yes.
All right. That's what I wanted to hear.
All right.
Finish this project and knock it out.
Good luck researching the rest of your project. If you find an open access journal and you use the 4-step PEEP approach and you're still not sure if it's a credible source or not, then you can use these additional resources to check to see if your article is suspicious, all the way from the directory of open access journals to the guidelines for evaluating open access journals. These might be some websites that you want to keep handy just in case. Now that we have looked at what an open access journal is and how to determine if they are a credible reference using the 4-step PEEP approach, I would like for you all to do a follow-up activity like the 2 student examples that I did in this professional development video. So for this follow-up activity, you can choose a topic of interest, any topic that you want to reference or research on. That will be your first step. Your second step, once you have chosen your topic, you will need to conduct 3 different searches for open access journals on this topic. The first one, I would like for you to use Western Kentucky University's library database to locate an open access journal on your topic of interest. The second search, just do a Google search for an open access journal on that same topic of interest. And the third search, you may use any search engine or database of your choice to locate an open access journal on your topic. The third step to this follow-up activity would be, after locating the 3 different open access journals on the topic of your choice, you will then use the 4-step PEEP approach to determine and explain if each of the open access journals that you selected for your topic would be a credible reference or not. You can use the chart from the student example portion. All right, thank you, and good luck with your assignment. Researching material, accessing information, and determining whether or not information is credible is a life skill that we as librarians and educators need to be able to do within our classrooms and libraries. But it is also a life skill that we need to be able to teach our students. The access to information has changed immensely due to the internet, clouding the system with reference materials that are not as credible, as well as providing an abundance of useful information. By following the simple 4-step process of the PEEP approach, the likelihood of choosing a credible open access journal increases. After viewing this video, I hope that you have gained a better understanding of the PEEP approach. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful day.